Hello everybody. Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the dark and twisted saga unfolding in Port Charles as Willow Corinthos begins to see the true colors of Drew Cain, a man whose charm has morphed into something far more sinister. What started as a seemingly perfect romance has spiraled into a chilling nightmare, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats. Could Drew's obsession drive him to repeat the horrifying actions of villains past, such as the notorious Peter August? In this extended exploration, we'll unravel the layers of deceit, jealousy, and danger surrounding Drew, analyze the potential fallout for Willow and her family, and speculate on the shocking twists that might lie ahead in this gripping storyline. A romance turned rotten, Willow's awakening. In the heart of Port Charles, a storm is brewing as Willow Corinthos, once swept off her feet by Drew Cain's magnetic allure, starts to peel back the layers of his carefully crafted facade. No longer the knight in shining armor she once believed him to be, Drew's controlling tendencies and unsettling fixation are becoming impossible to ignore. As Willow grapples with the realization that her dream man might be her worst nightmare, her every instinct screams for her to sever ties before it's too late. But walking away from a man like Drew isn't as simple as closing a door, it's more like stepping into a lion's den. With her heart pounding and her mind racing, Willow's decision to break free could ignite a catastrophic chain of events, one that echoes the darkest chapters of General Hospital's history. This awakening isn't just a personal reckoning for Willow, it's a pivotal moment for her entire family. She's not only fighting for her own freedom but also for the safety of her beloved children, Wiley and Amelia. The stakes couldn't be higher as she navigates the treacherous waters of Drew's psyche, a man whose outward charm belies a simmering rage. As viewers, we can't help but wonder, will Willow muster the courage to escape before Drew's obsession consumes them all? Her journey from blind trust to stark awareness is a slow burn, filled with subtle clues dropped over recent episodes, furtive glances from Drew, whispered warnings from friends, and the gnawing dread that something is terribly wrong. Echoes of evil, Drew's potential for kidnapping. The specter of Peter August looms large over this storyline, a grim reminder of how obsession can drive a man to unspeakable acts. Longtime fans of General Hospital will recall the chilling saga of Peter kidnapping Maxie Jones and her infant daughter, Bailey Lou Jones, in a desperate bid to cling to a love that had long since slipped through his fingers. Despite the valiant efforts of Maxie's loved ones to shield her, Peter's refusal to accept rejection led to a harrowing ordeal that ended with Maxie leaving baby Bailey at a fire station drop-off for abandoned infants, a heartbreaking yet necessary choice to ensure her child's safety. The relentless pursuit by Felicia Jones and Anna Devane ultimately brought Maxie and Bailey to safety, but not without a fatal cost to Peter, whose demise came at Felicia's hands and Anna's cold decision to let him bleed out rather than seek help. Could Drew Cain follow in Peter's sinister footsteps? The parallels are striking. Drew's fixation on Willow is palpable, a dangerous cocktail of longing and control that mirrors Peter's obsession with Maxie. If Willow dares to reject him, Drew's reaction might be just as extreme. Whispers among fans suggest he could resort to abducting Willow and her children in a twisted attempt to keep them close, refusing to let go of the life he's trying to claim as his own. Such a move would not only devastate Willow but also shatter the fragile stability of her family, plunging everyone into a nightmare from which there may be no waking. The writers seem to be setting the stage for a dramatic confrontation, with Drew's darker impulses bubbling just beneath the surface, ready to erupt at the slightest provocation. The root of Drew's obsession, jealousy and betrayal. While Drew's fixation on Willow appears to be rooted in desire, a deeper look reveals a more complex and sinister motivation. It's not just Willow he's after, it's everything she represents. Drew seems hell-bent on usurping Michael Corinthos' life, not only by winning over his wife but by claiming his children as well. This isn't about love, it's about conquest. Disturbingly, Drew shows little interest in his own daughter, Emily Scout Quartermain, born to the late Sam McCall. His neglect of Scout raises red flags, painting a picture of a man more consumed by envy than paternal instinct. What drives such a cold disregard for his own flesh and blood? The answer, it seems, lies in a bitter rivalry that has festered for years. At the core of Drew's actions is a deep-seated jealousy of his twin brother, Jason Morgan, and his nephew, Michael. This isn't a new wound, it's a scar that has never healed. When Jason was presumed dead after the Casadini Island debacle, Drew seized the opportunity to romance Carly Spencer, only to discard her without hesitation the moment Jason returned. This betrayal wasn't just a romantic misstep. It was a calculated move to undermine Jason, to take what was once his as a means of asserting dominance. Now, with Willow, Drew is playing the same game, targeting Michael's family as a way to strike at both Michael and Jason indirectly. His obsession isn't truly about Willow, it's about winning a lifelong battle of one-upmanship, the toxic grudge that poisons every relationship he touches. Michael's desperate plan, a race against time. The tension escalates as Michael Corinthos senses the impending danger and takes drastic measures to protect his children. In the Wednesday, June 11th episode of General Hospital, Michael delivers a bombshell to Carly, Jason, and Sonny Corinthos. He's considering taking Wiley and Amelia overseas to shield them from Drew's influence. This isn't a decision made lightly. It's a father's desperate gambit to outrun a threat he can feel closing in. Michael's instincts tell him that Drew's obsession could lead to a kidnapping, a chilling echo of past traumas in Port Charles. Yet, even as he voices this plan, Michael hesitates, aware of the legal ramifications. Fleeing with the children could be seen as parental kidnapping, jeopardizing his chances of securing sole custody in court. Michael's internal struggle is a poignant thread in this storyline, highlighting the impossible choices a parent must face when danger looms. On one hand, he yearns to whisk his children to safety, far from Drew's reach. On the other, he knows that such a move could paint him as the villain in the eyes of the law, potentially losing Wiley and Amelia forever. This dilemma adds a heartbreaking layer to Michael's character, as viewers watch him wrestle with fear and responsibility. Will he risk everything to protect his family, or will he trust in the system to keep Drew at bay? The uncertainty keeps us glued to our screens, anxious to see how this chess game between Michael and Drew will unfold. The ticking time bomb, Drew's dangerous desperation. There's an old saying in Port Charles, desperate men do desperate things. Drew Kane embodies this adage, a ticking time bomb of obsession and frustration waiting to detonate. As Willow inches closer to rejecting him, the likelihood of Drew resorting to extreme measures grows. His dirty tricks, subtle manipulations, overbearing control, and whisperings of deceit are on the verge of being exposed, and when they are, the fallout could be catastrophic. No one in Willow's circle would be shocked if Drew's response to her rejection mirrored Peter August's chilling playbook, snatching her and the children in a last-ditch effort to maintain his grip on their lives. This potential for violence and abduction isn't mere speculation, it's a palpable threat woven into every interaction Drew has with Willow. His lingering gazes, his refusal to give her space, and his dismissive attitude toward Michael's role as a father all point to a man on the brink. Obsession breeds desperation, and desperation breeds danger, a lethal combination that could push Drew to cross lines from which there is no return. For Willow and Michael, the challenge is not just to uncover Drew's true intentions but to act before his unraveling psyche turns their worst fears into reality. The question isn't if Drew will snap, but when and who will pay the price when he does. As the drama unfolds in Port Charles, Willow Corinthos stands at a crossroads, her eyes finally open to the monstrous truth about Drew Kane. With echoes of Peter August's terrifying legacy ringing in our ears, we can't help but fear for Willow and her children, Wiley and Amelia. Drew's obsession, fueled by a bitter jealousy of Jason Morgan and Michael Corinthos, threatens to tear apart a family already scarred by past traumas. Michael's desperate plan to flee with his children adds a layer of heartbreaking tension, while Drew's simmering desperation looms like a dark cloud over everyone. Will Willow escape before it's too late? Can Michael protect his family without losing them in the process? And what horrors will Drew unleash if his twisted desires are thwarted? Next, we will explore the growing discontent among fans of the hit ABC soap opera General Hospital, as many express their frustration with the show's recent storylines. While the month of May brought some high-octane drama with significant reveals and events, the momentum seems to have fizzled out, leaving viewers more likely to switch off than stay glued to their screens. In this extended dive into the current state of affairs in Port Charles, we'll unpack the reasons behind the fan backlash, introduce fresh perspectives on the characters and plots, and speculate on what might be needed to reignite the passion of the show's loyal audience. Join us as we navigate through the highs, the lows, and the uncertain future of General Hospital. A fading spark, fans growing restless in Port Charles. In the ever-evolving world of Port Charles, a troubling trend has emerged that's stemming the enthusiasm of even the most dedicated General Hospital viewers. Social media platforms are buzzing with complaints, as fans openly admit they're tuning out more often than they're tuning in. The primary culprit: a string of storylines that many describe as lackluster and uninspired. This isn't just idle chatter or a passing grumble, there's a palpable sense of disappointment echoing through the fanbase. After a May filled with promise, the subsequent weeks have failed to maintain that exhilarating pace, leaving a void where excitement once thrived. From casual watchers to die-hard enthusiasts, the consensus is clear: General Hospital needs a jolt of creativity to reclaim its magic. This growing restlessness isn't without context. May had delivered standout moments that briefly reignited hope, yet the unexpected return of Michael Corinthos, long thought to be sidelined, brought a wave of nostalgia and anticipation. Yet, as the weeks dragged on, the plots surrounding key characters seemed to stagnate, lacking the emotional depth or shocking twists that General Hospital is known for. Fans have taken to online forums and comment sections to vent their frustrations, with some even questioning if the show's writers have lost their touch. Could this be a fleeting slump, or is it a sign of deeper creative challenges behind the scenes? As we delve deeper, it's evident that the pulse of Port Charles is weakening, and the audience is yearning for narratives that grip their hearts once more. May's highs and the subsequent lows, a roller coaster of emotions. Let's rewind to May, a month that initially seemed like a turning point for General Hospital, with events that promised to redefine the landscape of Port Charles. The Nurses' Ball, a beloved annual spectacle, dazzled with its blend of glamour and drama, serving as a highlight that reminded fans why they fell in love with the show. The reveal of Gio's biological parents added a layer of mystery and intrigue, peeling back hidden histories that tied into the town's complex web of relationships. Michael Corinthos' comeback was the cherry on top, a plot twist that had viewers buzzing with theories about how his presence would shake up existing dynamics. For a brief moment, it felt like General Hospital was back in full swing, ready to reclaim its throne as must-watch daytime television. However, the excitement was short-lived. Post-May episodes seemed to lose their edge, with storylines failing to build on the momentum of those earlier peaks. Fans have noted that aside from the Nurses' Ball week and the final days of May sweeps, much of the content felt like filler scenes that neither advanced character arcs nor introduced compelling conflicts. One fan remarked on social media that the custody trial storyline provided a flicker of interest, outshining much of the sweeps month, but even that couldn't sustain engagement. The calm following intense plot points, such as in a recent Friday episode, felt more like a lull than a necessary breather, pushing some viewers to question their commitment to the show. It's as if the writers hit pause after May's crescendo, leaving the audience stranded in a narrative desert, thirsting for substance. Fan voices, criticism, and cautious optimism. The General Hospital community isn't holding back when it comes to sharing their thoughts, and their candid feedback paints a vivid picture of a fanbase at a crossroads. Scrolling through social media, the disappointment is unmistakable. One viewer lamented, "Most of May sweeps was honestly a snooze, except for the Nurses' Ball week. Even the custody trial had more grit than the rest of the month combined." Another fan expressed frustration over character handling, stating, "I'm close to giving up. What they've done to Lucky's arc is just not sitting right with me. Can't keep watching this." These sentiments highlight a disconnect between the audience's expectations and the direction the show has taken, with many feeling that beloved characters are being sidelined or misused in favor of less engaging plots. Yet, amidst the wave of criticism, there are glimmers of hope and appreciation. Some fans are clinging to the positives, pointing out elements they still enjoy. "I liked watching Gio's parentage story unfold, and the Nurses' Ball was fantastic. Tracy's scenes have been a saving grace," one supporter commented. Others have praised the conversational tone of the writing, noting that scenes feel more natural and less rushed compared to past seasons. The careful reintroduction of Michael Corinthos also earned nods of approval, with fans appreciating that his return didn't dominate the show like other character comebacks, such as Lulu or Cody, have in the past. Additionally, quirky moments like a drunken Natalia have injected a bit of humor and unpredictability, winning over viewers who crave lighter, character-driven interludes amid the drama. Sweeps and storytelling. Is the old formula still relevant? A recurring question among the General Hospital audience is whether the traditional concept of sweeps toes pivotal periods designed to boost ratings with major plot development still holds weight in today's viewing landscape. In an era where streaming data provides instant feedback on viewership, some fans wonder if sweeps are an outdated relic, now primarily tied to advertising revenue rather than storytelling necessity. One commenter mused, "With streaming stats coming in so fast, do sweeps even matter anymore? Maybe it's just about the ad dollars now." This perspective suggests that the show's pacing, often dictated by sweeps cycles, might be contributing to the current dissatisfaction, as periods between sweeps are used to set up future arcs rather than deliver consistent excitement. Historically, sweeps have been a time for General Hospital to pull out all the stops. Think shocking deaths, long-awaited reunions, or scandalous betrayals. However, if fans are right, then in-between phases risk becoming dead zones where little of note happens, alienating viewers who expect a steady stream of compelling content. Could the show benefit from abandoning the sweeps-driven structure in favor of a more balanced approach to storytelling? Perhaps integrating smaller, character-focused twists throughout the year, like unexpected alliances or hidden paths coming to light, could maintain engagement without relying on blockbuster events every few months. For now, the quiet periods post-sweeps are testing the patience of even the most loyal fans, who crave a reason to stay invested week after week. Characters in limbo, missed opportunities, and fan favorites. One of the most stinging critiques from the General Hospital fanbase centers on the handling of beloved characters, particularly the paternal figures and legacy roles in Port Charles. The lack of meaningful development for fatherly characters has left a noticeable gap, with fans feeling that these cornerstones of the show are being underutilized. Take Lucky Spencer, for instance, a central figure whose emotional depth and complex relationships defined entire eras of the soap. Recent changes to his storyline have drawn ire, with viewers lamenting a loss of the character's essence. Imagining a subplot where Lucky grapples with rediscovering his purpose as a father after years of turmoil could reinvigorate his arc, offering a blend of nostalgia and fresh conflict that might win back disgruntled fans. Beyond Lucky, there's a sense that other characters are also stuck in narrative purgatory. The reintroduction of the Sidwell family and their chaotic energy has been a bright spot for some, hinting at potential for high-stakes drama tied to organized crime or personal vendettas. Yet, without deeper exploration, even this plot risks falling flat. Fans have also called for more screen time for Tracy Quartermain, whose sharp wit and layered history make her a standout in any scene. Picture Tracy uncovering a long-buried family secret tied to Gio's lineage, sparking a feud that ripples through multiple generations. This kind of storytelling could breathe new life into stagnant dynamics, reminding viewers why Port Charles is a town worth caring about. Looking ahead, can General Hospital recapture its glory? As we peer into the future of General Hospital, the path forward seems both uncertain and ripe with possibility. The fanbase's mixed reactions disappoint, tempered by pockets of optimism, suggest that while the show has stumbled, it's far from a lost cause. The key lies in listening to the audience's cries for richer, more consistent narratives that honor the legacy of iconic characters while daring to push boundaries with unexpected twists. Could a sudden betrayal within a core family, or the return of a presumed dead character with a hidden agenda, be the spark needed to reignite interest? Imagining a storyline where Corinthos uncovers a conspiracy tied to his return, implicating even trusted allies, could set the stage for months of suspense. Moreover, the writers might consider weaving in more everyday human struggles. Think financial woes, personal loss, or moral dilemmas that ground the sometimes over-the-top drama in relatable emotion. Fans have shown they still see positives in the show's dialogue and pacing, as well as in standout performances like Natalia's drunken escapades. Building on these strengths by giving side characters like Natalia more depth, perhaps revealing a tragic backstory that explains her quirks, could add texture to the broader canvas of Port Charles. The challenge for General Hospital is clear: transform the current boredom into a renewed sense of anticipation, proving that this beloved soap can still surprise and captivate after all these years. As we wrap up this deep dive into the turbulent state of General Hospital, one thing remains undeniable: the fans' passion for this show, even in frustration, is a testament to its enduring impact. From the highs of May's Nurse's Ball and Gio's parentage reveal to the lows of uninspired post-sweeps episodes, the journey through Port Charles lately has been a bumpy one. Viewer feedback, ranging from sharp criticism of character arcs like Lucky's to praise for Tracy's scenes and Michael's subtle return, highlights a community hungry for stories that resonate. The question of Sweep's relevance and the longing for consistent engagement underscore a need for creative reinvention. Will General Hospital rise to the occasion, delivering the gripping drama and heartfelt moments that once defined it? Next, we will delve into the jaw-dropping downfall of Drew Cain, a man who once stood as a beacon of hope in Port Charles but has now descended into the darkest depths of villainy. In a shocking turn of events showcased on Monday, June 9th, Drew stooped to an unforgivable low by manipulating young wily Corinthos with a cruel lie about his father, Michael Corinthos. As fans reel from this heart-wrenching moment, questions swirl about whether Drew can ever be redeemed or if a more sinister secret lies beneath his transformation. Join us as we explore the layers of Drew's disturbing behavior, introduce chilling new theories, and speculate on the twisted path ahead for this once-beloved character in the ever-dramatic world of General Hospital. Anulo, Drew's cruel manipulation of Wiley. In the quaint yet tumultuous town of Port Charles, Drew Cain has shattered any lingering illusions of his former heroism with a despicable act that left fans aghast. During the Monday, June 9th episode, Drew deliberately planted seeds of doubt and pain in the innocent mind of little wily Corinthos. With calculated malice, he whispered a vicious falsehood, convincing the child that his father, Michael Corinthos, no longer cared for him or his sister, Amelia, due to the arrival of a new sibling, Daisy Corinthos. The sight of Wiley's heartbroken expression as he processed this lie was a gut punch to viewers. A stark reminder of how far Drew has fallen from the man who once risked everything to protect the vulnerable. This wasn't just a petty jab at Michael, it was a deliberate attempt to fracture a child's trust in his family, marking Drew as a villain of the most callous kind. The emotional fallout from this incident ripples beyond just Wiley. Imagine the confusion and fear gripping Amelia as she senses the tension, too young to grasp the full scope but old enough to feel the unease. Drew's actions have ignited a firestorm among the Corinthos family, with whispered arguments and tearful confrontations likely to unfold in the coming episodes. This isn't merely a plot twist, it's a betrayal of the very values Port Charles holds dear: family, loyalty, and protection of the innocent. Fans are left wondering if this moment is the point of no return for Drew, a line crossed that no apology or explanation can erase. As the town buzzes with outrage over his behavior, the question looms large: has Drew sunk so low that redemption is no longer within reach? From hero to villain, the unraveling of Drew Cain. Once upon a time, Drew Cain was the epitome of a hero in Port Charles, a man whose bravery and selflessness inspired all who knew him. He was the kind of person who'd dive into danger without a second thought, whether it was rescuing a friend from peril or standing up to the town's most nefarious figures. Yet, in a transformation that defies comprehension, Drew has morphed into the very antithesis of that hero, emerging as the most reviled villain in recent memory. His latest act of cruelty against Wiley is just the tip of the iceberg, a culmination of increasingly sinister behaviors that have eroded the trust of even his staunchest supporters. How does one go from being the town's savior to a manipulator who preys on a child's emotions? This dramatic shift isn't just baffling, it's unprecedented, even for a town accustomed to moral ambiguity. Compare Drew's actions to those of other Port Charles antagonists like Jen Sidwell, a criminal whose illegal dealings are notorious yet who draws the line at involving children in his schemes. Even Rick Lansing, a man with a history of questionable ethics, couldn't stay silent, publicly chastising Drew for dragging Wiley into adult conflicts. This rare moment of moral clarity from Rick underscores the depths to which Drew has plummeted, earning scorn from even those with their own checkered pasts. As fans dissect this fall from grace, many point to a pivotal moment: Drew's release from prison in early 2024 as the catalyst for his chilling metamorphosis. A turning point that seemed to flip a switch in his very soul. A dark theory: is Drew Cain truly who he claims to be? As Drew's actions grow more deplorable, a chilling theory has begun to circulate among General Hospital fans, fueled by the mysterious circumstances of his personality shift post-prison. What if the man walking among the residents of Port Charles isn't the real Drew Cain at all? Could the true Drew, the hero we once knew, be locked away somewhere, a captive to an unseen foe, while an imposter wears his face and tarnishes his legacy? This isn't mere fan speculation, it's a hypothesis grounded in the peculiar timing of Drew's behavioral change. which seemed to manifest almost instantly upon his return to the real world in early 2024. The idea of a switched identity opens up a Pandora's box of possibilities, each more unsettling than the last. Imagine a shadowy figure orchestrating Drew's replacement, perhaps an old enemy with ties to his military past or a secret organization with motives yet to be unveiled. This imposter could have undergone extensive training or even plastic surgery to mimic Drew's appearance, fooling everyone from family to friends. Such a plot twist would explain the jarring disconnect between the Drew of old and the cold, manipulative figure now breaking hearts like Wiley's. It would also inject a layer of suspense into every interaction, as characters send viewers begin to question who they can truly trust. If this theory holds water, the real Drew's whereabouts become a pressing mystery, potentially hidden in a remote facility or even within the labyrinthine tunnels beneath Port Charles, waiting for a daring rescue that could redefine the entire narrative. Echoes of the past, the dawn of day connection. Adding fuel to the fire of suspicion is the recent resurgence of references to the Dawn of Day cult and its nefarious leader, Shiloh Archer, within General Hospital storylines. For longtime fans, this isn't mere nostalgia, it feels like deliberate foreshadowing, a breadcrumb trail leading to a bombshell revelation about Drew's current state. Could Drew's manipulative tendencies, particularly his unsettling influence over Willow Corinthos, mirror Shiloh's own brand of psychological control? Recent episodes have hinted at parallels, with Drew's behavior early reminiscent of Shiloh's tactics, charming on the surface but coercive underneath, slowly bending others to his will. What if the writers are setting the stage for an earth-shattering twist, that Drew isn't just influenced by Shiloh's legacy, but might actually be Shiloh, somehow returned from the grave or never truly gone? Picture this: the secret operation post-Shiloh's supposed death, where his consciousness or essence was preserved, perhaps through experimental technology or dark rituals tied to the cult's lingering influence, and grafted onto Drew's identity during his prison stint. This would not only explain Drew's drastic personality shift but also reintroduce a villain whose evil once captivated and horrified viewers in equal measure. Willow, already vulnerable from past traumas, becomes the perfect target for such a scheme, her trust in Drew exploited as part of a larger, sinister agenda that could resurrect Dawn of Day's terror in Port Charles. Redemption or ruin? Can Drew be saved? As the layers of Drew Kane's current persona are peeled back, the question of his redemption hangs heavy over Port Charles. If he is indeed an imposter, whether Shiloh reborn or another malevolent force wearing Drew's skin, then the path to salvation for the real Drew might lie in a dramatic rescue and revelation that restores his name. Imagine a coalition of Port Charles' finest, from Jason Morgan to Carly Spencer, piecing together clues like cryptic messages left in Drew's old belongings or discrepancies in medical records post-prison, leading them to a hidden stronghold where the true Drew languishes. Such a storyline would not only offer hope for redemption but also unite the town against a common enemy, rekindling the communal spirit that General Hospital often thrives on. However, if this is the real Drew, corrupted by his own experiences or a latent darkness unleashed by prison hardships, then the road to redemption becomes far murkier. Could intensive therapy, guided by a character like Kevin Collins, unearth buried traumas that explain his cruelty, such as suppressed memories of betrayal or loss during incarceration? Or has Drew crossed a moral event horizon with Wiley's heartbreak, ensuring that no amount of atonement can wash away the stain on his soul? Fans are divided, with some clinging to the hope of a grand twist that exonerates Drew, while others brace for a tragic end where his villainy consumes him entirely, perhaps in a climactic confrontation with Michael that leaves lasting scars on the Corinthos family. The Corinthos family under siege, Wiley's pain, and beyond. Drew's vicious lie to Wiley isn't just a personal attack, it's a siege on the very foundation of the Corinthos family, threatening to unravel bonds forged through years of adversity. Wiley, a child who has already endured more upheaval than most adults, now grapples with a profound sense of abandonment, his innocent trust in his father shattered by Drew's words. The emotional toll could manifest in sleepless nights, tearful outbursts, or withdrawal from the family he once clung to for security. Michael, upon learning of this betrayal, will undoubtedly be consumed by a mix of guilt and fury, blaming himself for not shielding Wiley sooner while vowing to protect his children from Drew's venom at all costs. This conflict extends to Amelia and even little Daisy, the newest Corinthos, whose rival Drew twisted into a weapon. Envision tense family meetings where Sonny Corinthos, ever the protective patriarch, demands answers and mobilizes resources to keep Drew at bay, perhaps even enlisting old allies with less than legal methods to ensure the children's safety. Willow, caught in the crossfire, might wrestle with her own complicity, questioning how she missed Drew's darker side as she fights to rebuild Wiley's trust in his father. The ripple effects of this single lie could dominate Port Charles for months, setting the stage for custody battles, emotional reckonings, and perhaps a tragic misstep by Drew that forces the family to make an impossible choice between forgiveness and self-preservation. As we close this deep exploration into Drew Cain's shocking descent in Port Charles, the layers of mystery and malice surrounding him only thicken. From his heartless manipulation of Wiley Corinthos with a devastating lie about Michael, to the chilling theories of an imposter Drew or a resurrected Shiloh Archer pulling the strings, General Hospital has woven a tapestry of intrigue that keeps us on the edge of our seats.